Hi everyone, this is Anita from Mindoro, and today again we have a really fun project, and I hope you consider it a fun project because what I'm going to do now is I'm taking just the shape of an antique sort of Chinese vase that I have found, and I'm going to update that to have a little bit more of a sort of Japanese feel with some of the design and the finish that I'm going to put on it. And again, we just want to remind everyone that you can subscribe to our blog at mindoro.com, or please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'd love to have you'll be part of us, be part of our community. And on our website we have a lot of free lookbooks and other things you can download. So first thing we do is we need to add a new canvas size, and then once we add the canvas size, I'm going to go in and I'm going to import my photo. And this is a photo that we're going to be using. It's just a basic shape of a vase. We're going to just sort of trace around it. And we're just using this because we like the shape and it's kind of a classic shape. So this is the great thing about Procreate, is you can really find a lot of great things. I personally, so if anyone decides to do kind of these a vase or this type of thing, it can sometimes be kind of hard to get this shape. You have to, sometimes it takes me a little bit of time, or it's not quite right, or I have to start over again because it is kind of a hard shape to get sort of clean on a Procreate. Just as a note, the Procreate Pro we find is much easier to do some of the lines on than a regular iPad with a Procreate, but the other ones work just fine too. We actually use both of them here in our office for them, and we really like to have both of them. Now here I'm going to show you, this is what happens when you make a mistake and when you don't add the layer and you try to add color. You see the color got added onto the piece itself, which is not going to work because I forgot to add the layer. So now this means that I basically am going to have to start all over again. And I wanted to show you that because I keep talking again and again in so many of my YouTubes that you need to layer. Whenever you're doing anything for the home decor like this, you need to work with layers. And it's really easy, even for me who does this a lot, it can be really easy to forget to do all these layers. So now it really means that that last thing, everything I did before was no good. Instead of trying to correct it, I just erased it and just started over again. Because that becomes the problem, is that you can lose time where something should have been very quick and easy to do now becomes a little bit more complicated because of the fact that I forgot to add that one layer. So we need to try to get the shape again, get as close as we can as possible, and then see how it looks. So again, sometimes with these I work in batches. I do part of it, then I stop, then I'll go on to the next part. So if I need to erase, then I don't have to erase the whole thing. It kind of just sort of depends. So here we go. There, we got to make sure that everything is joined together so that we can be able to get in to have it be the clipping mask. And there we go. We have it now. So we're on the second layer there, which is good. So now we're going to go in. We're going to add another layer because I want to add some other parts on this so that I have some other color for what I'm doing. So we're going to add some layer here at the very top part. We're going to check our pens again. If you're not sure, we have a blog and a YouTube about which pens we use and why we use those pens and why we find them better for clipping masks. So we tested a bunch of pens with it. So if you get a chance, maybe you could check that out to see. So some of these really, like when you're trying to do really small, put the color in a really small area, it can be difficult. That sometimes it gets in like this one does in the lines. So I almost need to bring it closer and try to get it in. And there. The small ones can actually be kind of hard to do on Procreate, but I think overall that will probably work and look okay. And so the next thing I want to do is I'm going to add another layer now. Again, as I remind everyone, work in layers. And we're going to do the very bottom part of this again. So we're going to get this very bottom part of this of it right here and make sure that we get that, and then we're going to add some more layers. So here we're going here. This is when I said the bottom part, I mean the center part here. where this is where kind of the pattern is going to more be. And so we need to make sure that we get the correct layer on this one again, so it won't look funny and it will look okay. And there we go. So now you can see the whole piece right here and how it's starting to look and how it's starting to shape up. And it's looking like the vase that we had with the shape that we had on it. And so I think pretty soon we're going to be almost good to go, and we may have to change a few more things here. So now we're going to go and I have to turn off a lot of these layers that I've done. I'm just turning them off. They're not going to disappear anywhere. I can easily turn them back on because the reason is I want to be able to see the original vase again, to be able to get a part again at the very bottom. So I need to look again for color to make sure. And these little parts, as I've said, sometimes become the harder parts. You might have to move things in a little bit, turn the picture around to really be able to do this well. So here you can see is the original shape of the vase that we have done. And we're going to do the very bottom part now and make sure that we've gotten everything, again, has to be completely closed up on it, or it's going to be a problem. And we kind of go in fine and see if we can get that. Okay, so now we could go back then again. And once we've done that, we can turn back on all the other layers and we can kind of see how everything looks and how we kind of like our shape, and if there's anything else that we need to sort of adjust with this. There's a few things down there we can see that we might need to adjust a little bit. So we can go in there and we can kind of move things around if we need to. Well, now things are about ready. Looks like, so we can start adding on layers. So we've added, we have 2 blue layers, so we've added on the top and the bottom. Now I'm going to import a photo that I'm going to use as my design. And I want to put that right there in the center. So you'll see kind of now why I've sort of done that center part with this and make sure that it's right and where I need it to go. Then I can do the clipping mask on it. Now I want to change that, so I want to make sure that I have kind of the same color on it as the other one. So I can go into Procreate and I can press on it and match the color. And that will be the color that will be there. So I can put the color right there on that, do the clipping mask on the top part. And it'll be the whole vase, because that's the vase is underneath there. Now what I need to do is I need to put the clipping mask now on the very bottom, add the blue again, and to make sure that that blue matches there also on the bottom. And I do clipping mask, and you see how you can't see any of the lines or anything, so it kind of went over all of the pink. I can do that also on the top part too, just to make sure. And there you go. And that's why we really love to be able to do everything with the clipping mask. So you do it on both parts. And our vase now is done, and you can export it and then use it any way that you want to. See, doing this vase was actually very easy to do. So you can see how easy Procreate is. Anyone can design with Procreate. This is Anita from Mindoro, and thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'd love to be able to hear from you. If you have any comments, but you can make sure you make any comments. And if you ever have any need to create, develop, or manufacture home decor products in Asia, please do feel free to contact us. Check us out on Mindoro.com. And also go to Mindoro.com and check out our blog. We offer also free lookbooks that a lot of the designs we have also done with Procreate. And you can download the lookbook and see some of the designs. Thank you so much for listening.